Hey, what's happening, guys? Just kind of a Tuesday night little hangout here. Had a few things I wanted to talk about. I recently made the horrible life decision to get on TikTok and and spend some time on that. Pardon. Well, I've got quite the vodka and Red Bull, excuse me, here that I've prepared. So I prepared a little episode that I want to talk about. One of the pages that seems to like reoccur on my shit, and I don't know if that says something about me because it's all based on like an algorithm, right? So the shit that keeps coming up on my feed is stuff that some artificial intelligence has said like, yeah, Heath is pretty into this. So it's what I'm talking about is all these pages that have to do with like alphas and stuff and like alpha males. So I've already got kind of a preconceived conception of what I believe to be alpha. And it's kind of funny. It's probably not what you expect. Or maybe you do. I don't really think about where me personally, where I fit in this sort of odd male hierarchy that we've created. You know, with you see it popping up more and more in popular culture, like you hear alpha a lot, you hear simp a lot. One you don't hear very often is omega. And an omega is apparently, like I was looking it up earlier, it's somebody who's just like kind of like doesn't give a fuck. It's like, which it seems like a lot of you fit in that category because you see a lot of like, you know, acronyms like IDGAF. Okay. Yeah. You see a lot of those. And God, I'm revealing a lot about my IQ right now. So, oh God, I just had a stroke. So you see a lot of these people that are like, oh, no fucks given. I don't give a fuck. Blah blah blah. You're an omega. You're an omega. Omegas are like, nah. That's you know, in ancient Greece, that's kind of where all this shit comes from anyways. The alpha and I take that back. They're in biblical kind of, I wouldn't say ancient, but Christian stuff long ago in a galaxy far, far away. There's talk about the alpha and the omega, which is kind of the alpha is the first letter of the Greek alphabet, and omega is the last. So it's kind of like the beginning and the end, so to speak. And those symbolize the alpha and the omega symbolize Jesus and God. As far as that goes, whatever you're into. So, but there's the alpha and the omega is brought up periodically in Kabbalic texts, which as I've talked about or posted about on my social media, I'm pretty into. I'm pretty into a lot of stuff. I do a lot of research on lately. Kind of one of my things that does it for me is demonology. Pretty fucking cool stuff. I like to have all my bases covered, essentially, because this guy has no idea what happens after this is over. So just want to be prepared. And it always makes sense to have friends on both sides. If I do go to hell, I would like to be chummy with some demons. And so I'm working on that. All right. Anyways, how did I get here? But so, oh yes, I wanted to talk about like this, the concept of the alpha male. The alpha male. It's funny because, as I said, all these like alpha things started popping up on my TikTok feed when I started fucking around on it a lot, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. Maybe it knows I'm a pussy. I'm kidding. I'm so fucking hard. That was my erection hitting the bottom of the table right there. I'm kidding. Symbolically, it was. But so yeah, all these things started popping up on my feed, and I just started to look at them and be like, these are so fucking dorky. Like, so dorky. Pathetic, really. It's but, and for many reasons. I might not hit on all the ones that initially flooded into my head. But lucky for you guys, I did take notes. So, anyways, what is an alpha male? Therein lies the big question. I don't think anybody really knows. We've got this concept of what we think an alpha is. A dude that takes charge. Great leadership skills. Doesn't care about what other people think. Blah blah blah. Very stoic. I don't know, things like that. But on this social media alpha guy is much different from, I think, what is truly an alpha. And because social media alpha guy is like, oh man, like if that hoe doesn't text me, I'm like, I'm just going to put my energy somewhere else, or, blah, blah, blah. Or, I'm just all about the hustle, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. What other dorky shit? I got trust issues because all the girls I'm fucking have boyfriends and stuff like that. So I don't trust hoes. And those are just like a few examples. But which some of them are pretty funny. Like I don't the reasons guys have trust issues is because the girls you're fucking around with have boyfriends. So if it doesn't jump off the page to you how odd that is, that would be the thing that gives you trust issues. Because let's not forget the fact there that you're openly engaging in these acts with somebody that is in a relationship. So, like, you're kind of a piece of shit. And B, I don't know, BCA, you're a piece of shit. So these trust issues you have with females have nothing really at all to do with what these females are doing. They're autonomous beings. They can go about their business as they choose, as can you. And if they are fucking around and you choose to be a pawn in whatever game that they decide to play, and let's not turn away from the fact that you are also playing a certain game by participating in this. So you're an idiot, really, is what I'm trying to say. Your trust issues have nothing to do with them and everything to do with yourself. So my suggestion would be, to disengage with that. It's pretty fucking simple, right? Wow. Like, I have a, probably, conservatively speaking, an IQ of about 7, and I figured that out. So, that's just one of the things I see on TikTok. Another one of these, there's all this shit about, like, talking about what an alpha is. Like, an alpha's this, an alpha's that. I think probably the least alpha thing, and I don't want to just, like, it's not just talking about dudes here. The alpha concept, there are alpha females, alpha males. For sake of argument, we'll just eliminate the gender and just be, there are alphas, alpha personalities. How about that? Fair enough. Okay. So these alpha personalities, we all kind of know what the alpha encompasses. And it is not what we see on social media. It's because the least alpha thing you can do, in my opinion, the least alpha thing you can do, in my opinion, is tell everybody how alpha you are. Like, that screams of insecurity, which is non-alpha. Now we all have insecurities, of course, but talking about how alpha you are, just, like I said, screams of, like, two things, like probably drive like a lifted truck, or a car you can't really afford, because you live in a house with like 17 roommates, or still in your mom's basement. So that's what that screams to me when you start talking about how alpha you are. I don't know about anybody else, but so I don't personally know what alpha is, specifically myself, and mind you, I'm also kind of the last person to take advice from on being an alpha. You're sitting listening to a guy that was a theater arts major that is currently sitting down wearing skinny jeans and flip-flops. So take this with a grain of salt. I do not know what alpha is per se. I've got some comments on, I think, what it is not. And if you would take a seat and listen to what I've come up with. Again, pause for a drink. Oh yeah, and it's also super non-alpha. Sitting here listening to Angels and Airwaves, which is probably kind of emo. So, anyways, total spineless jellyfish here. So, like I said, I jotted down some things that I think, like I said, I don't know what alpha is, but I've got a pretty good idea what alpha is not. So, it's definitely not alpha to talk about how alpha you are or tell people how alpha you are. I kind of went into what kind of guy you are. If you've got a lot of followers on your page and that's like your thing, is talking about like being alpha, it's probably a bunch of guys that live in their mom's basement and play World of Warcraft for like 5 or 6 hours a day and are incels. So that's I'll give my level of accuracy probably about like 100% there on that judgment, give or take 5%. So if you worry, here's my next one. If you worry about whether or not something you do is alpha or simp, you're definitely not alpha. I don't think, from what I've read, alphas don't do that. Alphas don't worry about what other people think. They do. They just hide it. They just hide it better. Okay, but if you're openly on social media being like, oh, like, I don't know if this is alpha. You're not alpha. Okay, 3. If you, then this kind of goes along with 2. If you post stuff proclaiming to be alpha, and I already hit on that, and your following is based on that, you're a douchebag whose following is a bunch of incels. So got the incels thing covered. Here we go. Okay, here's apparently I took some notes on what I do think is alpha. So, okay, here's some things that I do think are alpha. 1, be kind. Be empathetic. And to address one of the things that I kept on seeing this come up in a lot of dudes' posts, like, if she doesn't text you back, she's out there fucking like banging somebody else. 1, good for her, because at least somebody's getting laid. 2, it's probably because you're at home playing World of Warcraft for like 5 hours a day and are completely uninteresting. So my advice to you would be like to hunker down, because the guy she's probably fucking around on you with is probably playing way more World of Warcraft than you are and is way better. And that's what does it for her. So get back down in that basement. Do not see daylight for weeks. Play that game, however it goes. I like giving horrible dating advice on purpose because that increases my dating pool, because idiots like you are out of it. So, yeah. So if she's out and she's not texting you back, who cares? Because here's the things that you should start focusing on. Go and be so goddamn interesting, and into the shit that you're into, that it doesn't really matter. And if they get back to you, it's more of like a pleasant surprise. At least that's how I look at it. And that's kind of a not to get off topic, but start to be pleasantly surprised by more things in life. I think that will improve your overall well-being, and you won't worry so much about being so alpha. Here's a big one, and I've talked about this for years, going back to our original Bored to Death episodes and things. I think being alpha, I think one of the big things for me is, and not to put that in the context of that I think I am alpha. I don't know what I am. I'm still figuring that out. People might categorize me as something, but that's their deal, not mine. All right, fair enough. Okay, so doing things with expectation, and this is where I see a lot of these quote alpha guys putting posts like this up too, like you show a girl a lot of attention, you do this thing for her, that thing for her, blah blah blah, and she doesn't reciprocate, or it's, there's some hot and cold going on, whatever. There's the responses vary pretty greatly. But so it essentially ends up with, I don't know, a guy doing something for a girl with the expectation of something in return. So, one, I think it is very un-alpha to expect anything from anybody. I think a true alpha has high expectations of himself and zero expectations of anybody else. That's what I think. I'm pretty married to that belief and non-flexible, because I can control what I do to myself. I can't control what anybody else does, or how they react or whatnot. And anything I do, like if I start doing something for somebody, expecting some shit in return, if I start doing something for somebody, trying to get laid or whatever, what have you, that's manipulation and coercion. When you do something it's kind of like sort of an offshoot of like a quid pro quo. Like I'm going to keep on treating you like this, blah, 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 as long as you keep doing this, or if you do this, and this for me. And it's, and I get it. Like, I don't practice it, but I kind of get like where other people are coming from that are doing it, and I understand that they want to have these expectations of somebody because they want this phenomena of mutual respect, and I can understand and I can empathize the want for that, and in some people's cases the need for that. And again, I'm going to term it as a phenomenon of mutual respect, because it's mutual respect is not a given. It's something that you've got to give, and if you get it back, great. If you don't, shit, life happens. So yeah, don't do things for people with expectations that you're going to get something from that. Do it because it makes you feel good. That's very alpha. Just doing something good because. Yeah, that's very alpha. Just doing something good because it's good. Because it makes somebody feel good. It makes you feel good. So I kind of hit on this other one. Ditch your expectations. Your expectations, and let's talk a little bit about expectations. Your expectations are your own bullshit. They have nothing to do with me. And again, if I have expectations, that's on me. That's on me. If those expectations aren't met, and it could be a goal I set for myself. Like if I have high expectations of myself, and I'm falling short, that's a good thing to have high expectations of yourself. But if those expectations are centered around somebody else, like I expect all this shit from this person because I did A, B, C, D, whatever. That's on you. That's really on you. I can't be really any more clear about that. Your expectations of other people are completely on you and based on, your own bullshit, your own, I hate the word, your own trauma. I hear that a lot. Like people throw around trauma. I think that's kind of a watered down, that's using the word trauma as like an all encompassing thing, I think waters down and weakens weakens the importance of what actually did happen to somebody, because our traumas are unique. I'll just leave it at that. So, and I kind of hit on this last one too. When you give something, expecting something in return, or to elicit, and this is another one, to elicit an emotion, you give something of yourself to elicit an emotion from somebody else. That's fucked up. That's coercive, and that's manipulative. Very, very unalpha. If that's your game plan, very, very unalpha. You do that, you're coercing somebody by being kind to them or doing stuff for them, with the specific outcome you want to get something in return for that. That's coercive, and that kind of makes you a piece of shit. I know that's kind of a strong opinion, but it's true. Like, just do stuff because it's good, or because you want to make somebody else feel good. And by making somebody else feel good, you feel good. It's and that's the exchange there, is doing something really nice for somebody and getting that feeling. It's a feeling. It's a feeling you get back by being kind to somebody, by doing something for the girl you care about, or some girl you're pursuing, or something, whatever. Just be kind. Just be fucking kind. It's they'll do what they're gonna do, and that's life. If they if it's like 10 hours in between, like when they message you back, great. Like I alluded to earlier in the episode, you should be so fucking busy being so goddamn interesting that it's fine. You check you don't have time to check your phone, but when you do, you pick it up, and maybe there's a message from her, maybe there's not. And maybe there's been 10 hours that have passed in between it, but you pick it up and you're like, oh, well, how nice. Pleasant surprises in life. It leads to such a greater amount of fulfillment. Like I can't even begin to tell you how much better life is when things start to become pleasant surprises. All right, think about that a little bit. Okay, I think that's about all I got. There's some other shit I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember. So anyways, you guys have a kick-ass night. I fucking love you guys. And like I said, I've been giving a lot of build up. Me, Luke, and Chris are all coming back. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, fucking love you guys. Peace.